Today I wanted to tell you something that I should have told you like 4 months ago, but I decided to record it now. Well, I passed my okay, wait, that's upside down. I passed my license test. I passed the state board exam. Yes, finally, all those hours of Cosmo school, the waking up early in the morning, the perms that I had to freaking roll and everything, they're finally worth it. I finally got my license. So yeah. So I wanted to actually talk to you briefly about that day and my feelings, and then from there give you guys a few tips to help you on your state board exam test date. Okay, so that day was pretty much nerve-wracking. I had to wake up really early because I had to leave like an hour before to get there in time, and I was planning to go on my own, drive myself there, and I was talking to my boyfriend about it, and then he decided to surprise me the next morning by showing up. So it was really awesome that he came with me, and it was just awesome that I just was able to relax on the way over there. And then when we finally got there, I was just nervous. I was praying. I was just hoping that everything that I learned during our practice state board exam, our mock state board exam, that I remembered everything, and then I remembered all the steps, and then I remembered to sanitize my hands. And anyways, throughout the whole test, I was nervous. I was trying to calm myself down, and I was trying to make sure that I worked as fast as I could, but with good quality as well. But that was kind of hard because just like when your nerves get to you, I mean, doing it at school, doing the mock state board exam, I was fine. Like over time, I picked up my speed, I picked up my quality of my work and everything. But once I got there, the nerves got to me. And even though they did get to me, I was still able to work out my best. And honestly, throughout the whole time, I couldn't read my examiner. Like I couldn't read her face, so I couldn't tell like if I was doing fine or not. And when she would come over and check my work, I was just, okay, I was just telling myself, okay, Faith, just try your best, you know, whatever happens, happens, right? So, and this was for the practical exam, obviously. And then it actually went by a lot faster than I thought. Like she was just speeding through it. There were some times where I didn't even know that we had finished that part of the exam, because she started reading off the instructions to the next part of the exam. So once I heard that, like I just had to clean up everything else, start preparing for the next section. But everything went fine, you know, like I didn't really know what I was doing in the sense of like how I was doing. I didn't know if I was doing really well. I mean, I knew I was doing everything that I know I should be, but everything came out fine because obviously I passed my test. And the written exam was, our teachers had already warned us that there was a few questions on there that were completely not related to cosmetology at all, so don't even worry about that, and to not let it throw ourselves off. Well, the first time I took the written exam, the first time I went through it, like those questions popped up, and I completely was like, it really did throw me off. It really did throw me off. So the second time and the third time that I rechecked my answers, I was like, oh, okay, wait, that question does not go with cosmetology. I don't even have to worry about that, whether I get it right or wrong. Like, I just don't have to worry about it. Like, I knew the second and third time that I went back on the written test to check my answers, I immediately knew what questions those were, and they didn't throw me off anymore. So honestly, it was the nerves again. So yeah, but that was pretty much my day. I was pretty much nervous, and the fact that I wasn't completely sure on how I was doing in the practical exam, it did get me a little nervous. It did get me a little scared because I was thinking, oh my gosh, like, you know, like I wasn't really worried for the written test. It wasn't that bad. So making sure to just go over it a second or third time, that helps out a lot, you know. But I wasn't exactly worried about the written exam because I had been doing really well at school, and I was just more worried about the practical just because, like I said, I didn't know how I was doing. So I mean, But I mean, by getting this, it pretty much shows how well I was doing. So I was really happy at the end. I was so relieved. I was pretty much like tearing up, and like even my boyfriend was getting really like a little sentimental. And now here are some tips to help you out on your state board exam so that you aren't as nervous, or if you do get nervous, you know, like you're able to remember some of these things. So the first tip that I want to give you is to get enough sleep. Please try and get enough sleep as you can, as much sleep as you can the day before. You don't want to feel groggy. You don't want to, you know, start dozing off. I mean, obviously your nerves are going to get you awake again, but get enough sleep so that you're able to retain that knowledge that you had been studying the night before, studying the week before, just studying days before, trying to prepare for the test. So please get enough sleep. Tip number 2 is to prepare everything that you need the week before or the night before if you can. And that's including your kit. So go through your kit. Make sure you have everything that you need for the test. Make sure that you have all the required supplies that you need. Make sure that in your kit that you have your ID and the state board cosmetology papers that you need. You know, the ID that you need to show them. Make sure that you also have the right situation planned out and prepared. Like, you just want to be prepared for this. So make sure that you prepare the week before if you can, because I know sometimes you can get your kit like 3 days before, or even like a day before, or even like the day of, which is really weird. But if you're able to prepare ahead of time, do it. You don't want to like end up forgetting something and then during your practical exam it's not there and you just, you know, you have to work with what you got, right? Tip number 3 is to make sure you study. That's an obvious thing, but make sure you study. Practice questions for your written, practice steps for your practical, or if it's in your textbook, read the steps on how to do that procedure. And honestly, like, that's all I can say is to study, study, study. And I'm gonna say this for some people is it's an optional thing, is to study the night before. I know that some people don't work well in studying the night before because then they cram and then everything gets too jumbled up and too overwhelmed in their heads. So if you are one of those people, please study days before, a week before, weeks before. Just keep studying so that it's in your long-term memory and that you can remember. Tip number 4, relax. Yes, I'm going to tell you right now to relax. Everything will be fine. You will be fine. On the day of your test, you will be fine. So I want you guys to relax. As much as you're going to get nervous, even in preparing your stuff, even in studying, you are going to get nervous. You are going to be like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do? What if I don't pass? What if I do pass? You know, blah, 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 blah. There's just going to be a lot of stuff for you, for your mind to just keep thinking about. And what I'm trying to say is to relax. Don't overstress yourself out. You do not want to worry so much about this test. Like I said, if you pass the first time, congratulations. If you don't pass the first time, it's okay. You can retake it. And I'm sure once you retake it, you will pass. I've had many of my cosmetology friends who didn't pass the first time, but they retook it and they did pass. You know why? Because they're able to remember how the exam went, and because they're taking it a second time, they're not as nervous. So just relax. Do not worry too much about it. And yeah, so relax. And number 5 is very simple, and I'm pretty sure you're going to hear this a lot in Cosmo School, and if you don't, you're going to hear it from me right now, is to sanitize, sanitize, sanitize. Sanitize your hands while you're doing when you're doing the practical exam, and if you have a mock state board at your school, make sure to sanitize your hands. Get that hand sanitizer. You know, like if you, let's say for example, you drop a tissue, you drop your shears, you drop a perm rod, you drop a perm paper, like pick it up with the tissue, throw it in the trash, or pick it up with the tissue and throw it in the to be disinfected box, and then just grab the hand sanitizer and sanitize your hands. Or before each procedure, make sure you sanitize your hands with the hand sanitizer. After each procedure, make sure you sanitize your hands with the hand sanitizer. So like I said again, make sure to sanitize, because what the state board exam is really looking for is, besides your skills, what they're really looking for is disinfection and safety, which means they're just wanting to make sure that you are safe with the procedure, and they want to make sure that you know the disinfection procedures. That hand sanitizer will be your best friend for the next couple of days until your state board test date comes around, and on that day it will become your best friend, and I'm telling you, it will be second nature for you to just automatically reach for the hand sanitizer. And yeah. Well, I hope these tips help you out, and like I said, if you've passed the first time, congratulations. If you didn't, it's okay. Don't worry about it. You can take it a second time, you'll be fine, and you won't be as nervous as the first time. So I hope you guys like this video, comment, subscribe to it, and it's so good to be recording videos again. And I'm gonna go. Bye!